Your attitude is not right. She's showing attitude to me. In a job interview, your selection is 20% based on your skills and your knowledge, and 80% it is based on your attitude. In life, to become a great successful personality, your success depends on your attitude. To become a real human being, to have great personality, to become an influential persona in the society, you must have positive attitude. Attitude is a term almost every one of us has come across in a number of ways, and we are quite convinced that it is the only thing that can change our lives, that can make our life more beautiful. For years, almost every one of us has been striving hard to change our attitude, to build our attitude, to enrich our attitude in such a fashion that could make us a real big man. But the irony is that if we are asked, what is attitude? How can you define attitude? What do you understand by the term attitude? We would feel quite complexed to define this term attitude. We do not realize the depth of this word attitude. In very haphazard manner, everybody is trying hard to change his or her attitude, and the attitude does not change, so does the life. In this video, we are going to give attempt, or we are going to understand the term attitude in quite simple way. Let me put few examples in front of you, then I would summarize in single shot. As you see this goggle in pink color in my hand, and when I wear this goggle for you and I start looking at the things around me in this room, no matter what the real color of the things is, no matter how they look in reality, everything appears to me pink. Now I take it off and use another goggle. Its glass is in brown color. When I wear this, same case goes with this goggle also. No matter what the real color of the things are, they appear to me brown. So in this first example, we understand no matter what the color of the things is, they appear to us of the same color that we are wearing the goggle of. Now let's go to the second example. You must have seen, maybe you watched Bollywood movies, you must have seen these two cases that I'm going to share with you, a style of wearing goggles. This style reminds us of the superstar Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth has shown this style in Bollywood movies, in Tamil movies, and number of times. Now let me show you another example. If I place this goggle in the collar back there in my shirt, you can see it quite clearly. You must have witnessed Salman Khan doing this in the movie Dabangg. So what we understand here, we understand that we relate the experiences with the past evidences we have. Because you have watched Bollywood movies, you have watched Rajnikanta, you have watched Salman Khan's Dabangg movie, you are aware of those evidences. Your mind immediately related this experience with your past evidences. Now let's go to the third example that I'm going to share with you. It's in form of a very simple story. Let's assume, okay, the way I'm going to tell you, there is a boy whose name is Sahil. Sahil belongs to a very rich family. He lives in luxurious house of multiple rooms. His dad is a businessman. There are many servants in his home. There are luxurious cars in his home. He studies in his school that is around approx 5 kilometers away from his home. A driver takes him in a luxurious car and drops him in his school. He eats lavish food and blah blah blah. This is Sahil. And at a stone's throw, there is another kid whose name is Raju. In comparison of Sahil's home, his home is quite small. His father earns very less. He has a scooter of, you can say, Bajaj scooter. His father takes his son, drops him in a school little nearer than Sahil's school, in a school of low standard, which charges poor amount or a small amount of fee. Sahil goes to that school and he eats ordinary food, and there is no servant in their home at all. So if you are asked whose life is better, then you are more likely to choose that Sahil's life is better, because Sahil is living luxurious life. And if I ask you, and if I invite you to go a little deeper in the story, and I share with you further information then how it goes, Sahil, for security reasons, is not allowed to go out his home. He, although stays there, and he although enjoys the luxuries of life, but when he watches Raju from the window of his room in the evening, Raju plays with his friends, laughs at the peak of his lungs, and enjoys his life to the fullest. Sahil is filled with remorse. Sahil cries a lot alone. His father hardly has time to interact with Sahil. All he is surrounded with is luxury and servants. Now, if you are asked this question, whose life is better now, then you would say Raju's life is better. Now your attitude changed. Why? Because now you went deeper into the things. So here is the third thing we understood. When we go deeper into the things, we know things better. Our attitude, our perspective towards those things changes. And the last idea in this, although you are saying that Raju's life is better, if you have to live Raju's life, then would you be happy as Raju is? Then you would say, no, I'm not sure. And of course, you would not be happy at all living Raju's life. This is the implementation part. When we implement an idea, an opinion, then we see the reality. Now, in just one shot, I am going to summarize the examples I showed in front of you. Let's go very fast with the first example. When I was wearing those goggles of different colors, as I told you that we see the word in the same color that we are wearing the goggle of. This goggle is of knowledge. The knowledge we have builds a perspective of ours for this word. A lot of people don't have a discipline to select, to be choosy in the knowledge. We are the people who let anything in our mind. We have a tendency of reading bullshit in the newspaper. We have a tendency of listening to negative news on the news channel. We have a tendency to fall in unworthy discussions with the people. We have a tendency to be surrounded, or we don't have a discipline to avoid the bad surrounding in our life. And this is how we are filled with the negative, unworthy knowledge, and this is how our attitude is built. And we wear a particular color goggles on our eyes, and we start looking at this word with the knowledge we have. So first thing is that we got to be disciplined enough to provide us good knowledge. We got to be choosy enough not to let any unworthy thing in our mind. We got to be very selective to have, or to read, to listen to the music, to read the content, or the motivational idea, the inspirational book, or the books from spiritualism that enrich the color of our goggles, or I would say the color of, or enlighten our mind, or just to color our mind in such a fashion that we start looking at this word with a higher perspective, with a more beautiful perspective. This is one part. And let's go to second part, in which I was showing you the style which Rajnikanta followed in his movies for wearing goggles. Salman Khan used in the movie Dabang for placing his goggle in the back of his collar. So here what we learned, that we relate the evidences that we have in our past life with the experiences we have in present. So in this manner we have been having same experiences because we have been relating every experience with our past evidences. We have pre-assumptions, we have pre-understandings to look at particular things. We don't tend to discover things or look at things with an unlike perspective. So our perspective is common, our experience is common, that is not a higher version of experience. Our understanding level is same, so our attitude is not changed, and we tend to keep experiencing same things in our life, and we tend to keep regretting that nothing is changing in our life. So the first point, knowledge builds our perspective, takes our understanding level higher, and we start relating the experiences or the incidences that take place in our life with an upgraded version of knowledge. And the third thing we learned here is when we went deeper into Sahil's and Raju's life, we found Raju's life to be better than Sahil's life. Earlier, we found Sahil's life to be better than Raju's life. When we went deeper, our attitude changed towards Raju's life and Sahil's life. Now, what we understand here, we understand that we have a tendency of building early assumptions about things. We look at things as we are, not as things are. Because we build such early assumptions, we form such early perceptions, early perspectives about the things, we block the coming opportunities in our life. And because we block these coming opportunities, because of this tendency of building early assumptions and formation of early attitude, our life does not change. Now let me go to the final hit, that is implementation part. As I asked you, would you be comfortable and feeling exactly happy or as happy as Raju is feeling in his life? If you are asked to live Raju's life, then you were not sure, and of course you would not feel as happy as Raju was feeling. So here the point is implementation. Attitude is not the way you think, it is the way you live. So a lot of people are living in a confusion that their attitude is enriched, their attitude is really good, their attitude is powerful, their attitude is positive because they are thinking positive. But where is the implementation part? The real scenario emerges in front of you. Your life starts changing, your life starts transforming when you work on implementation part. So here the final idea we understand is, whatever we know as positivity, as great virtues in our life, our extreme focus should be on implementation. Only then something in reality would change. Thank you.